Hello, and welcome back to Invitation to Puzzles. Today, we have one of my favorite genres, which is Compass. This genre has a tendency to be absolutely psychotic in the best possible way, I must say. And so I'll go over the rules, and then we'll do the puzzle. And I will, of course, as always, give you a chance. I'll even zoom in a little bit. That might look a little bit better when Tristan crops it. So what we are tasked to do in a compass puzzle is to divide the entire grid into regions, which we do by drawing in borders like this. So I've created here a region that consists of these 8 cells. Spoiler, it will not be this region in the end, but each region must contain exactly one compass. So that is exactly one of these clues. And the compass within that region tells you some information about the region. Namely, it tells you how many cells in the region live in a particular direction. Or maybe it tells you nothing at all. If this is the compass in your region, heaven help you, it tells you nothing. But what this is saying is that this compass tells me that its region contains exactly one cell north of the compass. If there's no number, there's no information. This region contains exactly one cell south of this compass, and it means strictly south, so it's never counting itself. Some of them have more, so this one tells me there's one east and one west. Okay, so that is how compass works. The regions, I'll tell you, the way that compass usually works is you end up with some region that ends up having to go on a long journey in order to possibly get the cell that it claims exists within the region. So often you end up with regions that are quite bizarre looking. And also, it wouldn't be a compass puzzle if you didn't convince yourself halfway through that you'd broken it when you actually hadn't. So if any of these things happen to you, it's a good sign that you're starting to invest in the wide world of compass. So I'm going to go ahead and give the puzzle a try. You should go ahead and click the link down below, and you can give the puzzle a try. And if you get stuck, or if you just want to watch me do it, here we go. Let's give it a try. All right, so the first thing we should do is we should separate all the compasses from other compasses. So we can draw in region borders because every region has exactly one compass. Okay. And we can draw lines like this. These lines indicate that 2 cells are in the same region. So note this region, if it does not contain the cell below it, it definitely does not get to 3 cells to the left and 3 cells below it. So it definitely goes down, and it's not done, so it keeps going, and it can't connect to this, and it's not done, so it keeps going. But now notice it actually has 3 cells to the south, so it can't take this cell anymore. But it's not done because it doesn't have 3 cells to the east yet. It has only one way it can grow, however, so it must grow up like that. And now it actually, I think, oh, sorry, it's not necessarily done, but it can't take any more cells to the east because it's got its 3 cells to the east. It can have as many cells as it wants to the north. Oh, sorry, no, it can't. It is done, because a cell to the north here would also be a 4th cell to the east. That's too many cells. Cannot do that. Okay, this region, this is going to be our token huge region. I see, because it needs to get something to the right and something below, and so already it's going to sort of, in order to get something below, it's going to go on quite a journey, and it also needs to go on a fair bit of a journey to get something above without breaking this compass. But we'll start small. At the very least, it has to grow up, and as soon as it does that, we lop it off from this, because again, a region can't have 2 compasses. This region has to grow up at least 1. Okay, and so now we actually, because of that, this can't connect to the right here. It's going to have to wind all the way around this mess in order to possibly get there. But we'll figure that out eventually. I think it's probably profitable for us to think about this region, which is not done and can only grow in one direction, and is not done and can only go in one direction. We have to keep it apart from this region. Like that. Let's see. Where else can we get some bait here? Yeah, we've got a lot of regions that we know aren't done. Where's the smart thing for me to say about them? So if this region doesn't take this cell, then it's obligated to come all the way up here and take that cell, which looks horrible. I'm not 100% sure that it breaks. This region, again, is now obligated to bend around here, but maybe it bends around... Oh, it can't bend around this. I see. Okay, so this little region down here, it has to get to something over on the right. And now it can't go through here. All of this is off limits, so it needs to get over here somewhere. Which means it has to go around this sort of constellation, if you will. And there's two paths it could take. It could go through this corridor, or it could go up above through this corridor. But it actually can't go through this corridor. Because if it goes through this corridor and connects over to here, it has isolated this compass from ever getting a cell to the north. Okay, and that might be a little tricky to see, but basically, if I imagine this region grows and grows and grows and grows and grows and grabs something and comes over here, I've now pinned this region to this wall and the ceiling and trapped this region inside. So there's no getting to the ceiling. So in other words, this region, in order to get its thing in the last column, it has to connect through there. Sorry, it doesn't have to go through... I put one more cell than I'm allowed to put. It has to make it through this corridor, because it can't go through that corridor. And I know that this is a different compass, so I can do that. Now... Right. This region needs to get something below it. This compass here. I hope you can see my pointer. I'm just checking the camera. You can see my pointer. This region needs to get something below it. And it can't bend around and do something. It can't do any crazy shenanigans because it would have to cut through this region, which is some contiguous mass that eventually makes it over to here. You can sort of picture like a string, and I can bend the string however I want, but I can't cut the string. If you want to think about it as topology, by all means, think about it that way. And in particular, that means that in order to get something down, I can't go up to go down. So that means in order to go down, I have to come down here. Okay, which separates these pieces. And now that's my one down. I need one up. I don't know exactly where it is yet. But I have now forced this region, which still needs something to the left, to grab that. So this compass region has no things of any sort. And because I can't take any more things to the left, I actually now have this region done. This one comes out like that. To make my life feel fulfilling. Uh, it's funny. I just had the thought. Wait, isn't this broken? Uh, it's not. But I had I had the thought that I said I was going to have, and I was panicking. It has to do with how this region is going to get its cell in the first row. Because remember, it can't cut through any other region. So it can't cut through this region in order to do that. It can't cut through these two regions, but now it's sort of blocked off. It can't get it can't get to this cell. So in other words, the cell in the first row that it gets has to be this one. That's the only cell it has access to. So this cell connects to that. So it's not connected either to the right or to the left. The left is in a different compass. The right, if it connected there, because it has to connect only to its own compass, would have to connect there, and then it would actually have two cells in the first row, not one. So it connects like that, which then separates it from this compass. Okay. This compass, however, is not done. And so it continues down. But now this is not done, and it has only one way to connect. It's different from that compass. This isn't done because it's the same as that. And so we get to continue this sort of creeping. This one is not done either. So actually, we continue down here like that. But now it is done, at least in terms of its clues, and it can't actually take any more cells. You have to make two separate arguments. Has it fulfilled all of its clues, yes or no? And are there cells it could take additionally without breaking its clues? And in this case, the answer is yes, it's fulfilled all its clues, and no, it cannot take any more cells without breaking its clues. Okay, and therefore this comes down. This is not done. So it goes down, its only direction, but now it can take no further things without breaking its clues, so we can sort of block it in. We must keep these two compassi apart. So this compass is going to come over here, must keep it apart from that compass. It comes over here, and we already agreed that it was this compass. So we at least have that all of those are together. This is not done, so it has to go at least that far in its hopes. Oh, God. I just realized this needs to finish, which means it needs to get something to its left. And I think there's only one cell to its left it could possibly get. Which is okay. I'll deal with that in a second. I realize we have an easier piece, which is that remember that this piece is connecting here. This is how it's eventually going to get to its right. So therefore, this piece is not connected to that, and so it must actually snake through like that, which actually gives us a lot of information because it forces this down, which is its only below cell, and so it gets trapped, meaning we can come across here like that, come over there like that. Okay. This one now, by the way, it's now become boxed in, meaning it only gets one above, so it's that one. Okay. So yeah, these are now all one mass. Okay. So here's another question. And this is actually sort of the reverse question. These three cells in this top row have to belong to a compass region. What compass region do they belong to? And the answer is, well, they have to connect to the compass. And so they either connect to this region or this region. Well, they can't connect to this region because this region's only got one cell to the north, and that cell's one of these two. It's not one of these three. So all of these actually immediately must belong to this region. Okay. But now, if you look at this weirdo region, it actually contains its one cell to the right. It's that one. So it doesn't take this cell. So what does? This. And so now this region can't take that cell, so it's done. And so we now have finished this part, this massive part of this region at least, over up here. That is all well and good. But funnily enough, we definitely aren't done with this region because this region still needs to take something below. Okay, so we might have to argue about what corridor it's going to take. Yeah, we have to argue, how is it getting to the bottom row? Because this compass region, this huge one, it has to get to the bottom row. And it either is going to take this path to the bottom row, or it's going to go between these two compasses. And the problem with the between these two compasses path is that it makes it impossible for this to get a cell in the row above it, because literally every cell in the row above it would be taken. Right? This compass definitely takes one of these two because it needs to get a cell from the row above it. So this compass can't wind through this path. So it must go down via this path. That gives it its one below. Oops. So that's different. And this, remember, is a different compass. So we can fill in that. Okay. This now needs to get to the bottom. Sorry, it doesn't need to get to the bottom row, but it needs to get to the left. And it can only get to the left through this corridor between these two compasses, because everywhere else to the left is blocked off. So this now has to take this corridor. And so now, which cell in the column to the right of this is this taking? It's this one. It's the only one left in column 3. So that is separate, and it doesn't continue because we know it takes only one to the right. Can't take any more to the right. We can't let it be greedy. So now this compass, which needs something to the left, it's got to be that one, which we now have to keep separate from this one. This compass now is just a little bitty nub. Poor compass. We've got to keep these separate. This one still isn't done, so it needs to grow up above, and it can't take any more cells up above. This one, though, it has to grow to take something to the right, and that's the only thing it can take. So now it's separate from that, and it's separate from that, and whew! I can't believe I said in the intro, you definitely have to feel like you've broken it. And I definitely thought I had broken it when I saw what was going on with these two clues. But fortunately, they were able to sort of hook around and we got this monstrosity. This is an excellent intro to Compass. Awesome puzzle. This, by the way, this is from 2022. So it's from a while ago. But huge thank you. I quite enjoyed that, and I hope you did as well. I hope you are also drawn into the pathology that is enjoying Compass puzzles, and I'll see you next time on Invitation to Puzzles. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.